مساء الخير. برحب بحضراتكم جميعا. good evening and welcome all. رمضان كريم ومبارك على حضراتكم، ومتشكر جدا لحضوركم ومنورنا. محمد عادل، مسؤول التدريب للجورنالز تيم في تايلر اند فرانسيس. وبس احنا ممكن ناخد 5 minutes بالظبط، نستنى لو other attendees will be joining ونبدأ 7:35. المايكس والكاميراز allowed لحضراتكم، واحنا الميتنج is being recorded will be shared بعد كده البرزنتيشنز والميتنج ريكورد مع الاكاديميك كوردينيتورز طبعا. شاكر جدا لحضرتك. Good evening and welcome all. This is Mohammed Adil, Journal and Client Experience Executive from Taylor and Francis Group. I'd like to welcome you all and Ramadan Mubarak to those celebrating Ramadan. Thank you all for joining, and thank you for all the academic coordinators, the library staff for arranging this meeting, and we're glad to be with you today and tomorrow for two series of sessions for assisting in your publishing journey. To give you a brief introduction, our role as at Taylor and Francis is to provide top quality academic content and top quality research articles for you to view it and to gain access to top quality content and to assist you throughout your publishing journey from the start of getting an idea of a research till getting your research published in top academic international journals and getting the highest research impact and the highest possible reach out of your published research. So our role today is to partner with you, assist you in all your queries regarding what we can do to promote for our work, to promote for our research articles, to get the highest research impact. So our agenda today will be first a brief introduction about Taylor and Francis. Who are we and how can we support you throughout your research and publishing journey? Then we will go through a quick introduction about our author services platform. Taylor and Francis offer something that's called the author services online platform. It's a complete guide on your publishing journey. It covers every step of your publishing journey and your academic research. From the start of getting an idea of a research till getting your research published and getting the highest research impact. So today we'll be discussing the point of, and this is our main scope of our presentation today, the scope of getting the highest research impact and how to boost our research. So then we will have a quick live demo on Taylor and Francis Online, our journal platform, which has almost 5 million articles available for your view across 3 main libraries. So we'll have a quick demo on Taylor and Francis Online, and we will finish by a quick demo also on our Taylor and Francis author services platform and how you can get use of it and how you can get benefit from it in maximizing your research impact and promoting for your research work. So as we said, we represent Taylor and Francis Group. Our team is responsible for the Middle East and North Africa. Of course, we partner with the Sultan Qaboos University for over 4 years now, and we're proud of this partnership. Our content, journals and ebooks content are available on the online platforms of the Sultan Qaboos University. So Taylor and Francis Group, as we were saying, is a multidisciplinary global publisher. We were established since for over 225 years ago, since the year 1798. We're based in the UK, and we started our journey with the first published journal, the Philosophical Magazine by Richard Taylor. Currently, we have over 2,700 journals published under the name of Taylor and Francis. They are spread across 3 main libraries, covering 24 subjects with all the humanities, social science, science and technology, and medical subjects covered across those 2,700 journals. We have one of the largest ebooks collection with over 150,000 titles being published under Taylor and Francis name. And we're also in the scope and the trend of open research and open publications. We have dedicated platforms towards open publishing and open research, like F1000, which offers a new publishing model with the open research and open data. Also, we operate under a lot of prints like Taylor and Francis, Routledge, Dove Medical Press, which is a platform dedicated for medical open research specifically, and F1000, as we were just saying. So this is regarding our history. For our published content, we can show that we have both the quantity and the quality of the content. As we were saying, we are publishing more than 145,000 book titles, with more than 5,000 titles being released every year, new titles being released every year. We have currently more than 2,700 journals published under Taylor and Francis, under prints like Routledge, CRC Press, Taylor and Francis, Cogent, OA, and Dove Medical Press. This was in terms of quantity. So in terms of quality, we have also high top quality journals and top quality research articles being published under Taylor and Francis. As we can see that from these 2,700 journals, almost 85% of them is indexed in Web of Science, and more than 90% are indexed in Scopus. So most of our quality is, it's found in the indexation websites and ensures the discoverability and the reach of our published content. Also, we have 180 full open access journals dedicated solely for publishing open access content, covering all the research topics and subjects. For the bibliometrics of Taylor and Francis, as we were saying, we have about 2,100 journals indexed in Web of Science. We have 2,400 journals indexed in Scopus. In 2020, we had 50,000 policy documents that was cited and contained content that was published by Taylor and Francis. We had over 2.2 million online mentions, and we're the #1 global publisher in the arts and humanities citations and the social science and humanities subjects, with more than 20% of the content indexed in the social science and humanities subject under Taylor and Francis. So as we were saying, we have the top quality content and the number also of content that would serve your research and your publishing journey. These are spread across 3 main libraries and the expert collection. Of course, we have the largest social science and humanities library in the world with over 1,485 journals. We have a dedicated science and technology library, a dedicated medical library, and the expert collection, which covers also the pipeline and the drug development phases of the pharmaceutical products and the different therapeutic areas. For the metrics of each library, for the social science and humanities library, as we were saying, we have 1,485 journals. 80% of them are indexed in Web of Science. About 25% of them are quartile 1 and quartile 2 journals. This is the largest social science and humanities library in the world. The science and technology library with 510 journals. We have 91% of this library indexed in Web of Science, and almost 50% are quartile 1 and quartile 2 journals. And the medical library was 178 journals, with 93% of the journals indexed in Web of Science, and about 45% of the journals are quartile 1 and quartile 2 journals. So this was regarding the content that is available for your use. So how can we partner along your publishing journey? As we were saying, and this is what our training today is based on, we have something that's called the Author Services Platform, which is one of the largest supportive platforms that is available for your access. This platform offers a step-by-step aid and a step-by-step supportive tools throughout the whole journey of your publishing, your research, from the start of getting an idea of a research till getting it published and getting the highest research impact, as we were saying. So why do we do research, and why is our role to support you in your publishing journey? So why is it important we can just go about doing our research part and our literature review, doing the research? Why is publishing our output important? Why is publishing our research articles important? So the first thing, of course, it reflects on 3 main parts of your progress in your career. And the first part is it's very important publishing your articles to get a higher research impact, to get well known in your academic network, and to be well known in your research subject and your research topics. This would facilitate, of course, driving your career progress. As we can see right now, most of the academic regulations for getting promotions regulate that authors publish their articles in quartile 1 and quartile 2 journals and top international journals. So it will progress, of course, your academic career through getting a lot of your research articles published in international journals. And when you get well known in your academic society and you have a record of top quality publications under your name, this of course increases the chances of securing funds for your research projects and growing also your academic network further on. So it's very important for your career to start publishing your research findings. And this is how we can support you throughout this journey. As we said, we have the Author Services Platform. This is a quick overview of our Author Services Platform. This is the homepage. It covers all the points from starting the publishing steps itself, choosing the right journal, which you should invest time in this topic, as choosing the right journal affects a lot the reach and the citations that your research article would get. writing your paper, of course, how to write your manuscript, how to make your submission and prepare your research for submitting it and in the international journals and the submission systems. What is the peer review process, the publication, the production of your article, and this is the part, of course, of the publisher. And after the publication, how you can get the highest research impact for your published article. Also, it covers areas like the open access options on Taylor and Francis. What's the benefits of publishing your work as open access? The open access cost finder, which you can find the cost of any article that you would like to publish in one of our open access products. It's a very simple tool that you can know what's the expected cost for your published article, and the different open access agreements and how you can secure funds from your open access or open research that is published with Taylor and Francis. Also, it covers the editorial policies and the instruction for authors and the data sharing policies, which of course is regulating all Taylor and Francis journals. We have also two important tools that we will have a quick demo on, which is the search current call for papers and the journal suggester tool. And we will show you what are the benefits of both these tools while publishing your article during our live demo. Okay, as we this is the homepage of the author service platform, but we'll keep the demo at the end of our presentation. So as we were saying, the author services platform covers all the steps of your publishing journey, from choosing the right journal, writing your paper, making your submission, the peer review process, the production, which is the part of the publisher, of course, and after you're published, how you can get the highest research impact and how you can promote for your article. We can cover every step of these single steps in a separate author services trainings, and all of our trainings are based on PDFs that you can download from the author services platform. So the first step, of course, is what is the best journal for my paper, how we can choose the right journal. After covering this point, we go through the writing your manuscript part, the steps of writing your manuscript, from preparing the tables and figures, writing up the methods, the results, the discussions and conclusions, the introduction, the abstract, and the title. Then how to prepare yourself for the submission process, and the submission process itself, and what's the important, and how you can prepare yourself with a simple short list, a checklist on covering every step of your submission to make sure that when you're submitting your article, you've covered all the steps required and to guarantee a higher acceptance rate for your published article. Then moving on for our topic today, of course, after you've published your article, how you can get the highest research impact. And this point also is not covered, it does not start after publishing your article. It starts from getting the idea of research itself. And we will cover today how you can, throughout every step of your research part and every step of writing your research article, how you can promote for your article from the beginning till after getting your article published, and how you can use the different tools that are available online currently to promote for your article and get the best reach and get the best impact out of your published article. So as we were saying, why is research impact important? Because of course it's why we do research. We've spent a lot of months currently doing our either the experiment part, the analysis part, writing the research part, writing our manuscript, preparing ourselves for the submissions. So it's very important to spend some time even thinking about why are you doing all of this. It's of course to get yourself known in the academic network, to get to drive change, of course, in the area that you're operating in. Your research article, you want to impact change, you want to promote for yourself, of course, and to promote for your work, of course, throughout your academic network. So it's very important to boost your research impact and to boost the impact of your published work. So as we were saying, the author services platform offers like a checklist on all the parts that can facilitate for our work to get a higher research impact and to get a higher reach to our audience and to our desired audience. It starts from before even writing your article and before doing the submission parts. And it continues after your publication and after publishing your article, how you can boost your published article and how you can promote for it. So today we'll cover points like understanding the research impact and why it's important, learn how research impact is achieved, discover way to boost your research impact before your publication, like engaging with the right policymakers, choosing the right journal to publish in, writing, even when you're writing your article, to write with research impact in mind, how you can tailor your article to suit your audience and to suit the topic that you're trying to serve and to suit the aim that you're trying to achieve. Then after publishing your article, how to communicate, communication tips for sharing your research, engaging with the social media, and tips for using social media to promote for your work. Then we will understand how can the research impact be measured. Is there any available metrics that show us the level of impact that our research is achieving? And we will go through these tools. So what is research impact? In a simple definition, it's the effect of your published work that is having on the topic of interest or your research discipline or your research subject. It's the effect of your research that it has had on your subject that you're operating in, and how you're maximizing the reach of your work. This is what is the simple definition of research impact. But of course, there are a lot of definitions for research impact as per each institution and as per each funding authority, and it differs a lot, of course, according to the whatever subject or whatever discipline that we're operating in. So we can define research impact more or a little bit more by the type of the impact that we're having. So there are a lot of types of research impact and a lot of areas that impacts include, like the academic impact. If you're publishing your work, that will drive a change in theory, that it will drive a new finding or a new method of doing a research tool or something in your subject area. It can have an academic impact. It can drive changes in curriculums. It can drive changes in teaching ways that is having an academic impact. There is also cultural or societal impact when your research is covering topics related to to person lives, to the places that persons are living in, to the history of civilizations. This is cultural or societal impact. There's environmental impact, where, for example, for climate change research or the sustainable developmental goals research, research articles that would drive impact for driving even legislations for climate change. This is environmental impact. And of course, there is policy impact when your research might drive a change in a governmental policy or drive a governmental decree or a decision. This is called a policy impact. Of course, there is also a health or well-being impact for the medical articles and the clinical trials, like of course, the trend of the COVID research articles and the research for COVID vaccines. This is, of course, a health or well-being impact. And there is an economic impact when your research article is driving change toward a governmental policy, maybe, or a funding policy, where it drives change to corporate finance even. This might have an economic impact. Okay, so as we said, there is a lot of definitions to research impact, and each subject area and each institutions have its separate definition of defining research impact. So it's very important to know what subject area you're operating in, what is the type of change that you're wanting to drive, to detect what type of impact that you want to achieve from your work. So why is it important, as we said, to boost for your work, and why is it important to promote for your work and to get the highest reach out of your published article? As we said, uh, there are three major points that assist you a lot and help you a lot throughout your career. First, for driving your career progress, growing your academic network, and of course, securing funds. When you get well known as a researcher and you have a record of published articles and published research with good impact that each research is having, of course, you increase your chances in securing funds in managing projects even that are bigger projects than the research projects you're currently working on. So of course it would drive your career progress, and of course it would grow, of course, your academic network, as you will be very well known in your network as a top researcher and having a lot of credible work under your name. So for the part for securing funds, as we said, currently there are millions of articles being published, hundreds of publishers operating, and a lot of research work being done every day, not every even week or month. So how can the authorities that are giving the funds be sure of that they're putting their money where it belongs and they're spending their money in the correct, in the most appropriate ways? So for the government and policymakers, of course, they want to make sure they have millions of research grants that they want to give. They have hundreds of thousands of supportive grants that they want to give. So they want to make sure, of course, that they are giving their funds to the most credible and the highest quality and the highest relevant research article that they are spending in. For the charitable funders or the charitable organizations, they want to show, of course, their donors that they're paying the donations that they're getting to the top quality research and to the highest relevance research that is serving their scope and serving their aims. And for the institutions and the universities, of course, they try to promote for themselves throughout the published work from the researchers. Of course, it reflects on the institution ranking. It reflects also on getting more researchers, more donations, attracting even more students. So, of course, research impact is very important to the funding authority. So we have to keep this in mind before writing our research article. And of course, some of them currently are even asking for evidence of impact. They might ask you for a letter or might ask you for a guarantee that the research you're doing and that the one they're spending in would have the impact that at least they are requiring for giving you this kind of grant. So it's currently very important to try to address a certain gap in a certain research subject or a certain topic to make sure, of course, to get the highest research impact possible to increase your chances for securing funds. And as we were saying, to drive your career progress, of course, when you're getting a lot of your work published and you're getting a lot of your credible research articles published with a high number of citations and higher number of reach, this will get you known, of course, as better in your academic network. And it will help you in applying for grants and even getting higher positions and growing your career with your published work and getting well known in your academic network. It, of course, will facilitate and give you better communication skills when you're publishing a lot of articles, you're speaking with them, with your peers, with your professors, you're presenting your research work at different conferences. This will increase your skills of your communication skills. It will make you also give you a chance for better grants, and it will give you a chance to manage bigger projects and bigger research projects, which will drive your career progress. So all of these are very important points to keep in mind while writing and while publishing your article, and even after publishing your article, to promote for your work to try to get the highest impact possible. So how is impact achieved? Of course, we spend a lot of hours in our research life. We spend a lot of hours in our work. We spend a lot of hours even with our families, of course, which is the most important. So how can we cope and try to boost our published work without making it a very difficult journey? Of course, we have to spend a lot of time in promoting for our work and to trying to get the highest research impact possible from even the start of our research journey, from starting before even writing our research article, but how to simplify it as much as possible. As we said, this is our author services checklist. We will go currently through a few steps before writing your article and before making your submission, to keep it in mind before writing, that would help you boost your research impact. Then we will go on to after the publication part and after you've published your article, on how we can promote for the and how we can promote for the our research work and our published work to get the highest research impact possible. So as we were saying, it starts even before writing our research article. It starts when we're having an idea of a research. We have to keep in mind what is the change that we're trying to achieve, what is the aim that we're trying to fulfill, what is the gap in research that we're trying to fill. This, of course, would help us before writing our paper, that knowing, of course, what kind of change that we want to achieve, what type of change we want to achieve, if it's economic change, if it's, as we said, health and well-being change, if it's an environmental change. When keeping this in mind, even before writing and before starting with our research work, it would help us a lot in even choosing a right topic or even choosing the right gap in research. Of course, we do a lot of our literature review. We do a lot of research work in the scope that we're publishing in. So we have some kind of idea what is the certain gap that we, when fulfilling this gap, it would help us a lot in getting higher impact. So we have to keep this in mind, what is the change that we want to achieve and what are the gaps that we can fill with our research article. Then it's of course a communication process. The first was a choice process, then it's a communication process along every step of your research work. Even before getting the idea of a research, you should involve a lot of your peers, a lot of your professors, your research networks, your work environment. Read a lot of the topic that you're operating in. Read a lot of the published already articles in this topic to identify a certain gap and involve the people around you in your decisions even before starting writing your paper and choosing the topic. Ask them about what do they think about this topic, what are the research gaps in this area. Try to understand from them, try to engage with them, and try to involve them in what you're doing, of course. This would help you a lot in later steps, as this would facilitate and you would know what type of audience that you would address and what type of who would benefit the most from your published work. So it will help you, of course, when engaging with the right stakeholders throughout every step of your research, even before writing your article. And as we were saying, to then when you publish your work, you will already you will be very familiar of the network and the audience, the type of audience that you were addressing. You will already have open communication channels with these stakeholders that you've involved along the journey of your research. So this will help you a lot in promoting your work even after getting published, by engaging with the right stakeholders and creating reach through effective communications. You can if you already, as we said, if you followed the previous step and you've engaged with the right stakeholders, then you will have the right audience and you will have open communications channels with the audience that you're having, so that you can promote for your work after you get it published. Then, of course, we have to keep this in mind also before writing our article. What is as we were saying, what is the kind of change that we want to achieve? What kind of impact that we want to have from our published article? So try to keep in mind to maximize your research work and to maximize the impact that your research work might have. Think about things like, should I get my work published in a local journal or a regional journal, or should I get it published in an international journal? Before writing the paper itself, should I be addressing my research network only, or should I be addressing a certain local audience, or should I maximize my research and should be addressing a global audience maybe, or people outside even my research network? Who am I trying to reach with my published work? Try to maximize your research work by asking yourself the right questions on what type of audience that you want to achieve, if it's a local audience, or if it's a regional audience, or if it's an international audience. We can give an example, of course, if you're doing a study on certain type of a limited number of subjects. So you specify all your subjects with a certain demographic, like there are rural patients from an outside city with age group between 50 and 52. So this is limiting, of course, your research work. Try to maximize your sample size, try to reach a larger number of audience with your research work to get, of course, higher reach and higher impact by your published work. Then, of course, comes the part of choosing the right journal, which is a major point. This point actually starts before writing your paper, before writing your article. You should know what kind of journal you are addressing and what are the regulations for accepting your article. For when you're writing, to keep this in mind and to increase your chances of acceptance, and to be familiar more with the type of audience that you're addressing. So why is choosing the right journal important? As we said, because the right journal identifies your audience. And your audience, of course, are the people that you're trying to sell your research article to. So it's very important to spend a lot of time and spend quality time choosing the right journal. As there is a very important point that we would further elaborate, that choosing the right journal increases the chances of your acceptance of your work by 40%, according to a lot of analysis on the published work and Taylor and Francis. Choosing the right journal increases the chances of acceptance by 40%, and it also increases the chances of citations by 25%. So choosing the right journal, of course, gives you the right audience, which increases the reach of your published work, and then increases the number of citations and increases the impact of your published work. And of course, consider what are the publishing options that you're having. Do you want to publish your article in a subscription journal? Do you want to publish it as an open access publication? Of course, currently there's open access publications which are available to all audience worldwide without any limitations of subscriptions. So keep in mind, even before writing your article, what is the type of audience that you're trying to reach with your article. If we're talking, for instance, about government officials, if you're having a governmental if your paper will have a governmental impact, for instance, or drive a policy change or something. So probably most of the government officials do not have subscriptions and a lot of the international subscription journals. So it might be a good idea to consider publishing your article as an open access publication to reach the audience that you're desiring. So you have to keep in mind your publication options, whether it's open access or it's a subscription journal. Then before also writing your paper, but of course you've already identified your topic, you've engaged with the right stakeholders along the journey, you've already chosen the right journal currently, and you're starting to write your paper. It's just simple tips and tricks before writing your paper, and these parts, of course, are covered in the writing your manuscript training. Before writing your paper, keep in mind the 4 A's. So what are the 4 A's? It's the aims, audience, awareness, and articulation. So the aim is, what aim are you trying to achieve? What is the change that you want to achieve? What keep it according, of course, to the aim that you're trying to, or the point that you're trying to change, or the gap that you're trying to fill. This would help you a lot while writing your article to tailor your writing towards the type of change that you want to achieve and the aim that you want to fulfill. Then the audience, of course, as we said, the audience is a very important pillar in your reach and the impact that your article would get. So it's very important to choose the right journal, and to, before even writing, to know what type of audience that you're addressing. Are these audience from your research network, so they would understand the language that you're writing, or are they from outside your research network? Are they practitioners, or are they policy makers? What kind of audience that you're addressing? Of course, that will help you a lot tailoring your language and articulating your article. Then the awareness part, and the awareness part is related to, of course, doing a lot of research and reading a lot in whatever topic and whatever subject area that you're operating in, knowing the previous published work and the previous published articles, knowing the gap in the current research and how you would address this gap with your published work. And the articulations, which means writing your paper with the right order and the right format. Of course, most of the research articles, they should be telling a story in terms of the format. Most of the STEM, of course, articles are in the format of title, abstract, introduction, methodology, results, conclusion, and references. So keep in mind the articulation of your article, that you're telling a story and what are the type of change that you want to achieve from your article while writing your paper. Then for the choosing so you're starting to write your paper. There is a very important thing to keep in mind. Any international publisher or any journal website or any indexation website, or even Google, when you're using Google to search for any articles, there are some identifiers for any articles, which is called the keywords. So the keywords, of course, you choose before publishing your article, and they are the identifier, and they are the words that are used by any discovery engine to find your article while using any search engine. So keep in mind while choosing these keywords to choose them well, and to give you well identification for your published article. So you can just, it starts by if you're choosing anything, keep in mind to just create a list from it. Think about the audience and what are the words and the phrases that they use most while writing. Think about the article that you're publishing and what are the most relevant words and the most relevant keywords related to your article, and create from them a list. Then try to refine this list. Try to search by this list for the articles that's published by the keywords that you've chosen, and are they relevant to your article or not. Try to then filter from them, and there are certain tools like Google Trends that you may use. Google Trends, you can just enter any keywords that you're choosing, and it will show you a lot of metrics on the reach and the number of mentions that these keywords are having. And also you can go through a lot of the top published articles in your subject that is very relevant to your article, and see what are the keywords that they have used for this article, and try to create, of course, your own list for keywords that is the most relevant to your published article. Then while writing your article, it's very important to keep in mind that these keywords are an identifier for your article, so you should be using them throughout your article. There are simple tips and tricks while using the keywords in the title and the abstract and the manuscript itself. For the title, it's very important to keep in mind that while searching for your article, the thing that will appear on Google or Google Scholar is the title of your article and the first two lines from your abstract. So it's very important to keep in mind that while writing your title, you should, of course, write a simple title without a lot of abbreviations. It's a search engine friendly title, as they're saying. And in the first sentence of the title, try to put 1 to 2 keywords from in your title, 1 to 2 keywords from the ones you've chosen in your title in the first 65 characters of your title, or in the first sentence. And for the abstract, try in the first 2 or 3 lines, try to use the keywords from 3 to 5 times the keywords that you've chosen, as they will help you, of course, and they will help the researchers and the users that are searching for your article to get to your article by as the title and the first 2 lines of the abstract will appear in any search engine. So as we said, use 1 to 2 keywords in the first 65 characters of your title, and use 3 to 5 keywords in the first 2 to 3 2 to 3 lines of your abstract. So these were the parts that were covered before publishing your article. Then we went through the submission process. We submitted our article, and our article got published. So what should we do after the publication and after publishing our article to help us promote for our published work? Of course, there is a lot of tools that is currently you can use. You do not have, of course, to use all of them, but try to use the right tools that are available for promotion for your work. Currently, you can use different social media websites. You can present your work at scientific conferences. You can join an academic research sharing network. You can create a Google Scholar profile, write a blog post, create a video abstract, share the e-prints that you get from your published work, include the article link in your email signature, and update, of course, your web pages. So to go through each one of them, of course, and the most important is how to use social media to promote for our work. Currently, we have a lot of social media platforms, so it's important to select the right platforms that your audience are present in. it's not important to use all the social media platforms, but it's important to select the ones that your audience will be present and your audience will be active on, and try to target these social media websites. Of course, the most important three are Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So as we were saying, focus on the channels that matter. You do not need to be active on all the channels, but focus on the right channels that your audience are present in. Connect and engage with the right people. Try always to increase your network. Try to connect with your audience. Try to like, comment, and congratulate your audience and their achievements on social. Try to be active on the social media platforms that is mattering for you. And keep in mind that it's important يعني يعني a lot of different websites offer different regulations for the reach of your published post. For instance, like LinkedIn, it's better to publish one post per day. Do not publish a lot of posts every day to maximize the reach of each post that you're publishing. So keep the simple tips of engaging with the right people and connecting with the right people on the different social media platforms. And of course, try to be human in your interactions. You do not have only to publish your articles only. Try to connect with the people around you. Try to congratulate them. Try to publish. Try to post from your daily life. Try to be human on the different social media platforms. To of course to increase the reach of your posts. When you have an article published, put a link of your article and announce it announce your publication on the different social media platforms and add the link to your article. You use the right hashtags when you publish a post. Of course, if we're talking about Taylor and Francis online, if you're publishing a post with, if you're publishing an article with Taylor and Francis online, so when creating a post about this article, try to mention or add an hashtag for Taylor and Francis. We will promote also for our work for you, and we will try to increase the engagement for the post that you've written. So include the right hashtags. Consider what if you can include an image from your published work, a GIF, or a relevant video. This, of course, will increase the reach of your post and will in turn reflect on the reach of your published work itself. And avoid what they call technical jargons or very complex words that is not understood even inside your research network, not even outside your research network. Avoid the too complex words. Join as many academic research network as you can, like ResearchGate, Mendeley, Academia, .edu, whatever the research network that your subject area or your discipline is most common and most operating in. Create a Google Scholar profile. It's very important to have a Google Scholar profile currently, and it's very important to have an ORCID ID. The ORCID ID is a very simple tool. It will give you an identifier to your published work, and you can currently, if there is a name duplicate between two authors, the ORCID ID is like, it's like the research ID in the global network. So try to have an ORCID ID and and create a Google Scholar profile. And keep in mind when creating the profile to keep the settings as public when creating it, not private. Write a blog post if there is a certain blog website or a certain website that is or a certain Facebook group that is famous for having a lot of your audience or having your research network. Try to write a blog post about your article and do not just post the abstract of your article. Write a simple post that everyone would understand. If you can create, a lot of publishers currently give you the option to create a video abstract. It would be a 2 or 3 minute video abstract that would explain your published work and explain your article and the overview of your article. So if you're having a video abstract, try to, of course, post it. It would have a higher reach. And as we said, when publishing an article, include the link of your article in the post you're writing, and include it in the emails. Of course, every one of us is sending a lot of emails every day to the research network. Include a link of the article that you published in your email signature along with the emails that you sent. So this is regarding using the tools. There is something called research communication, which is communicating your published work and your published research even outside your research network. So there are simple tips that you should keep in mind to reach with your research article outside your research network and to reach a broader audience. Consider your audience. Think about how to pitch your project to people coming from different backgrounds. Simplify your language. Do not use very complex language. Use, as we said, avoid the technical jargons. Try to elaborate your language for academic papers and for specialist conferences. And try to to write in a language that is understood by even people outside your research network or outside your subject area. Try to tell a story by your research work. It's very important to keep your audience engaged throughout your article. So try to tell a story. And of course, keep learning and practicing while promoting for your article and while speaking about your article and talking about your article in different conferences and different gatherings with your academic network. يعني these are simple tips that we should keep in mind even on يعني before publishing our article and after publishing our article to help us promote for our research work. It will be a continuous, of course, work. يعني it would reflect on your academic career and it would reflect on your academic network. So you should be spending يعني a bit of time and quality time for promoting for your published work. So this is for covering the what should we do to promote for our work. So how can we measure the impact that our research article is having? Of course, first and foremost is from the feedback you're getting from your academic network and the direct feedback that you're getting from your peers and professors. But there are certain tools and certain metrics that are available on Taylor and Francis online, and of course on a lot of the global publishers that would help you see what your published work is doing and what kind of impact that you're achieving currently. So there are on Taylor and Francis online, there are three important metrics that show what kind of impact that your article is having. Of course, it's first and foremost is the article views. How many views did your article get on Taylor and Francis online and the different online platforms? The number of citations across cross-reference, across Web of Science, and across Scopus. And a new tool that Taylor and Francis offers, which is the Altimetric Attention Score, which measures all the number of mentions that your article has got across any online platform, whatever social media platform, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, the academic network, any online mention that your article got is measured on the Altimetric Attention Score. So this gives you a view on what your article is doing currently and what kind of impact that you're having. And of course, keep in mind that these numbers differs from one subject area to the other. Of course, if we're publishing our work in the social science and humanities subjects, maybe the numbers would not be like when we're publishing our work in the science and technology subjects. Of course, different subjects offer different metrics and different levels of impact. And of course, there are the journal level metrics, which shows the metrics of the journal that you published your work in. So it's important to keep in mind, of course, that when choosing the right journal, that the journal is indexed in the correct indexation websites that's having an impact factor, that it's quartile 1 or quartile 2 journal. Of course, these are a lot of metrics that we can keep in mind while choosing the right journal, which would reflect later on as we choose the right journal, which would reflect on the reach and the impact of our article. So this was our presentation. We will have currently, if we have any questions, we would be happy to answer them, and we will move on to our live demo. Do we have any questions? Thank you. So we'll move to our live demo. So as we were saying, Taylor and Francis we partnered with Sultan Qaboos University. Our journal contents are available on the e-resources platform of SQU. This is a quick demo on how we can access Taylor and Francis online and how we can serve millions of available articles of Taylor and Francis online and reach the best and top quality articles on TFO. So if we're on the page of the e-resources, we can just go to the letter T. So we have here both the ebooks content of Taylor and Francis and the journal content. We have currently content available from 1997 till the current year, almost 26 years of content that is available for your use. So when we're clicking to Taylor and Francis from our accounts from SQU, it will direct us to Taylor and Francis online. This is the homepage of our journal platform. As you can see, we have access to about 5 million articles in all the research subjects and all the research areas. Once we log in to Taylor and Francis online, we can have 4 main search tools that would help us a lot to reach any article. First is the simple search or the easy search. As we can see, we can enter any keyword, the author name, the DOI, the ORCID ID, whatever a kind of identifier that you want to enter if you're searching for a certain subject area. If we say, for instance, okay, so we've searched for cardiovascular. We have 4,172 articles under cardiovascular subjects. 4 journals that are dedicated to publishing in cardiovascular subjects. Okay. So currently you have access to the full content of Taylor and Francis online, but it might help us also to click on this button, only show content that I have access to. Of course, any content that you have access to, you will have full access to the full article, to download the article and to use the citations and to use whatever kind tables and figures that you want to reach. So we can serve the article, whatever article that we want to check. For example, let's see this one. So on the article page, once we selected an article that we want to check, we will have, of course, access to the what journal is this article published in, the article title, the authors, the year of the publication, the full article online, which of course is formatted as per the article type, the figures and data, all the figures and data in this article, where we can download any one of them, okay, and display them. The references part, of course, of this article, the citations that this article is getting, what articles was it cited in. We can get access to all the articles that this research work was cited in, and of course the article metrics. As we said, this is the article metrics page. We can see what is this article doing in terms of the research impact that it's having. So this article's got 1,029 views. It had 18 cross-reference citations, 16 in Web of Science and 17 in Scopus. And the altimetric attention score is 2, which reflects from 2 Twitter mentions and 15 mentions on Mendeley. Okay. Then, of course, we can view the PDF and download it for our use. So this is for the simple search. We can then use, of course, if we're trying to reach a specific article by name or a specific, and we do not, of course, know the author name, we can also search here by the author in the simple search. But if we're trying to reach a specific article, we can use the advanced search. So the advanced search is exactly like the simple search, but you can add a lot of more identifiers. So just by clicking here, you can add whatever number of identifiers that you want. This is for the keyword. You can enter any keyword that you want here. Then here select the title, the journal title that it was published in. You can select the name of the author if you know the name of the author, or the abstract, whatever kind of identifier that you want to search in, and it gives you a more specific result that you want to reach. Also, you can use a lot of filters here. Of course, you can customize the year of the publication, filter by the publication date, or even the citation source, the citation source itself, if you're searching for the citations. Sorry. This is for the advanced search. Then we can search, of course, by the journal name if we want to search for whatever journal by the journal name. So, of course, we can enter the journal name in the simple search and it appear for us. And we can find here all the 2,700 journals published under Taylor and Francis by alphabetical order and by subject area. We can select whatever subject area, and we will find all the journals filtered by alphabetical orders. So just to give you a view of the journal metrics page. So this is the journal homepage, any journal homepage. We can see a lot of information about the journal. Of course, the introduction about the journal metrics, the editorial board, the instruction for authors. So for the journal metrics, Taylor and Francis offer a very good tool. Is that for any journal, it shows you the number of users that this journal was having in the previous year. The citation metrics, of course, the impact factor, the 5-year impact factor, the SGR, and the site score. And for those wanting to publish with this journal, it shows you the speed and acceptance rate, the days average taken from the submission to the first decision, and from the submission to the first post review, and from the submission to the first publication in certain journals, and the acceptance rate of this journal, so that you can have an overview before choosing to publish your article with this journal. Okay, so this was for the simple search, the advanced search, and the search by the journal name. Also, we publish in 24 subjects. All the 24 subjects, you will find them here. You can filter by whatever subject area that you want to search for, and search in this subject area as a separate and find all the available articles. And also you can use a lot of filters, of course, if you can only show content that I have access to. So we have under food science and technology around 83,500 articles. You can filter by the article type. You can filter by a specific subject area, a more specialized subject area, the journal, the publication date, the language, and a lot of filters that is available. So these are the 4 main search tools on Taylor and Francis online. As we said, about 5 million articles available for use. So if you need anything with later future inquiries, we would be happy to assist you with any or carry out any live demos that you would require during the upcoming period. And for Taylor and finally for the Taylor and Francis Author Services platform, which is today's training and all the Author Services training are based upon. This is our Author Services platform. It covers every step of your publishing journey, from, as we said, from steps of publication, choosing a journal, writing your paper, making your submission, the peer review, production, open access options, the research impact, how to boost your research impact, the editorial policies and the data sharing policies. all the events and the global webinars that Taylor and Francis is having. We have a lot of global webinars that's happening every month with our editorial teams. So it's of course available to that we can share with you, of course, the invitations, and it is in partnership with either with our editorial teams or the top societies that we're publishing in. So, for instance, in April, we're having how to promote your research article on social media, and you're getting your article published in medicine and health journals, among many other events that's happening in April. And for the two tools that we يعني would help you a lot in your research journey and will help you a lot in your publishing journey. We have the author services platform offering two important tools: the search current call for papers and try the Taylor and Francis journal suggestor tool. So if you're already publishing your article and you have an idea of a research and a certain topic that you want to do a research in, you can explore this tool, the search current call for papers. This, of course, as we know, each journal has an important topic that it's publishing in, and even some journals release a special issue or a special volume with a theme for a certain topic or a trending topic that is happening currently, like the Sustainable Development Goals, like the climate change researched articles. So they release like some kind of a promotion that they are requesting for papers to be published in this topic. And this, of course, increases the chances of the acceptance of your article. So if you're publishing in any subject area, if you say, for instance, you're publishing in arts, so you select the subject area that you want to do a research in, and you press load. All the journals that is having call for papers in the arts subject will appear for you. Routledge Open Research, Architecture and Culture, with the special issue and the theme of this special issue. So if your topic is meeting this call for paper, this will increase a lot the chances of accepting your article. Arts and Health, all the journals that are calling for papers in the arts subject will appear under you. Okay. And second is the journal suggester tool. So if you're already written your article and you have your abstract ready with you, and you're not still determined on what journal you want to publish in, you can just copy and paste your abstract here and reveal the suggested journals. About 5 to 10 journals that are of the highest relevant to your research article will appear for you, so you can view all the journal home pages, the journal metrics, the aims and scopes of each one of them, and to help you choose the right journal for your article. Thank you. We're done with the live demo and the presentation. It's been a pleasure to be with you today, and we will have about 10 minutes Q&A. If you have any question, we would be happy to answer them. Thank you all for joining us today. So thank you for the lovely feedback. So for the certificates, it's already with the registration link. In about 1 week, all the certificates will be ready and will be emailed in separate emails with the final certificate to your emails address that are registered in this meeting. So it will be automated in about 1 week or 10 days maximum. Thank you for your feedback. Tomorrow at the same time, we're having a shorter session about plagiarism. On what is plagiarism and how also simple tips and tricks on how we can avoid plagiarism and while writing our research article. So thank you all for your lovely attendance today, and hope I didn't prolong a lot today. Ramadan Kareem Mubarak, and have a very nice good night. Thank you. شكرا لحضراتكم جدا، شكرا. الريكوردينج ان شاء الله هيبقى شيرد مع الاكاديميك كوردينيتورز ومع مستر سلطان باذن الله. شكرا جدا لحضرتك. عن اذن حضرتك، سلام عليكم.